My name is Dr. Kevin Pecca. I wanted to make a podcast that exposes people to the true miracles of life and health. All the guests on this show have been specially picked because they bring something positive to the world. They have some of the most amazing and inspiring life stories. These people have a passion for living, healing, and leaving the world better than they found it. There is something inside these people that made them keep fighting through all the tough times, even when people told them it was not possible. They carried on and made their lives beautiful again. And now they are sharing their experiences with the world. This is the Expect Miracles podcast. Enjoy the show. Today on the Expect Miracles podcast, we have Maria Aparis. Maria developed a revolutionary hands-on protocol that is named the Essential Gut Technique, which is a combination of massage, energy point triggers, breathing techniques, and essential oils. She created a certification program certifying students across the nation. She has a new best-selling book out on Amazon called The Essential Gut Awakening. Maria has provided luxury spa services to everyone from Academy Award-winning celebrities, producers, and directors to Grammy-winning recording artists, sports celebrities, as well as major film studios and Fortune 500 corporations. She has been featured on ABC's Eye on LA, CBS's Lisa's It List, KTLA Morning News, Fox 11 News, 9 on the Town, On Air with Ryan Seacrest, Entertainment Tonight, and much more. She is also certified in Kundalini Yoga, meditation, Reiki, massage therapy. She is a raw food chef, a crystal and gemstone healer, and feng shui. She has also healed herself from her own autoimmune disease by the protocol she has developed. Please welcome Maria Aparis. She just wrote an Amazon best-selling book. It happened today, right?
It went bestseller yesterday.
Best-selling book yesterday, The Essential Gut Awakening. Maria, how are you today?
I'm so great. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm very excited to have you on the podcast today. Your story is one of the reasons why we have this podcast. You healed yourself from an autoimmune disease, and you've had such an amazing journey, and you even wrote a book about it, and it's a best-selling book. So I encourage everybody to go out and get that today. And Maria, excited to have you on the podcast. How are you today?
So great. I'm excited to be here because it's such a hot topic right now, the gut and autoimmune and just empowerment for women to get our voice back.
Absolutely. Maria, where are you from originally?
Originally from Southern California.
Beautiful. Okay. And what were you into growing up and everything?
Oh my goodness. Well, at the age of 9, I started modeling professionally, and I grew up in the entertainment industry. So I was a print model, did lots of cartoon voices,
Nice.
series, commercials, tons of stuff as a kid growing up, and kept in that same kind of industry. Then I started a spa in 2001. It's called
Nice.
Spa on Location, and it catered to the entertainment industry.
Great.
And so I just was going from amazing red carpet events to hosting these amazing parties, and then I got sick.
Really? Okay. What was going on then? When did you start feeling sick, and what happened there?
So it started basically with some initial brain fog, some fatigue. Really not, like, oh, where did I put my keys? That type of thing where you don't really think about it. But in retrospect, I would maybe have just put them down somewhere and forgot.
Absolutely. That's a scary thing. Walking into a room, forgetting why you walked in there, stuff like that.
Yes. And those things started to happen more and more. And then what I really noticed, because I had been a size 2 my entire life, was that I had put on 5 pounds. And 5 pounds for me is, as a 5'3" person, that's a lot, especially when I was doing print work professionally. Every pound matters. And so I was like, wow, I'm just not fitting in my clothes anymore. So I went to my initial general practitioner and asked him, is there something that's going on with my body? And he said in the most patronizing tone you could possibly get, so dismissive. And he was just like, oh, Maria, you're just getting older. You need to exercise more. And so, hearing that, of course, I was like, oh my God, if that's it, okay, yeah. I can do this. And so what I didn't know is that I had a very severe level of iron
Deficiency. Yeah.
Yes. And so I was, point 0.3, and I'm sure you know exactly what
Yeah.
that
That's
means.
very low. Yeah.
Very, very low.
Mm-hmm.
And so he basically told me to exercise myself to death.
Mm-hmm.
That's what his advice was.
Mm-hmm.
And so going through all of these different specialists and doctors, Western medical, I went to naturopaths even. And the one key that seemed to be missing with everything that they were giving me was absorption,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it wasn't until I found supplements that were nano enhanced, which means basically water soluble, if you just want to break that down into like the simplest terms, is that they were getting actually for the first time absorbed into my bloodstream, into my body, where I was actually able to accept the nutrients. And then I started to feel better.
Yeah.
Right. And so this happened with a process of eliminating every single thing that everybody had given me and went into essential oils.
How long was the journey in between you were going to all these doctors till you started doing like the essential oils and everything that got you better?
I want to say about 5.5 years.
Wow. And so was it just brain fog? What else was going on?
Oh, no. I wish that were the case.
Yeah.
No, brain fog was one of them. It seemed that every time a doctor tried to give me something different, it would cause another reaction in my body. And so one doctor gave me a prescription that caused me to have tachycardia,
Mm-hmm.
almost so bad where your heart feels like it's expanding through your chest and beating so hard that it feels like a heart attack would feel.
Yeah.
That was one. And another one was a doctor had given me progesterone cream. She told me that I had an overabundance of estrogen in my body.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of leveling out the estrogen, she told me to put in progesterone. The progesterone cream that she gave me caused me to have the most severe menstrual cycles that you could ever even imagine. It was as if my ovaries were going through a meat grinder.
Mm-hmm.
This was happening every 10 days for 14 days straight.
Wow.
So on top of anemia, you can imagine how bad it was. My hair was falling out in clumps. I had vertigo so bad that all I could do was just lay there and have the room just spin, spin, spin. I mean, the myriad of symptoms got so bad that it was almost paralyzing in a way because you just can't function.
Absolutely.
I think the icing on the cake, at least it's what I explained in my book, was when I went to the grocery store. I got groceries. I went back to my car and didn't realize why I was there in the parking lot. I had forgotten.
Really?
And so I went back into the grocery store to try to find out if it would jog my memory. And the guy at the cash register said, "Oh, you forgot your groceries. I wondered where you went."
Wow.
And I just took my groceries. I went back to my car and I said, "Oh my God, the doctor did say I was getting older. Maybe I'm getting Alzheimer's." And I just lost it. Like I just full on lost it in my car. I was just like, "Oh my God, this is my life now."
Yeah.
And I think that a part of the process of going through all of this was listening to my first instinct. My first intuition was that something was off in my body. And I went for help. And I didn't get the right kind of help.
So any diagnosis yet of an autoimmune disease or not yet? You're still trying to figure out what's going on?
No, not yet. I went to see this naturopath and I felt like at 9 months after I had started seeing her, and this is test after test after test. And she said, right when I was ready to give up because I had just spent so much money, I was like, well, this is my life. This is my life.
Were you spending it on like blood work and just like outside, like MRIs and everything and just other testing?
Yes. Testing had to be done every 3 weeks because every time she would give me a supplement, she needed to know if it was working. Right. And so in retrospect, I think if somebody comes to me and they say, I have any kind of the symptoms that I had, I immediately ask them, have you had yourself tested for Hashimoto's or an autoimmune disease? And so I'm convinced that I must have paid off her car or her second house or something in those 9 months.
Yeah, with all those testing, yeah.
Yes, because nothing was working. And I can spot Hashis like that now.
Yeah.
And I'm not even a naturopath.
Yeah.
So she says, I have a hunch that it might be something else. And after 9 months of this testing and taking her supplements and all of that, she has a hunch.
Mm-hmm.
So we take an additional test and she comes back and she says, yes, you've tested positive for the antibodies of Hashimoto's. And I was like, okay, well, great. Now we have a diagnosis. I can work with that.
Yeah.
And so, I started doing the things that she said to do even more so because now she said she could help me because she had a diagnosis.
Right.
So
not the case.
Not the case. And eventually it just drained everything. It drained my energy. It drained my bank account. And I just said, okay, that's it. I can't do this anymore. Mm-hmm. And so at the time I owned a spa in Santa Monica. And one of the ladies came in who was trying to get a job as a massage therapist. She asked if she could use an essential oil on my back. And honestly, at that point in my life, you could have used DW40.
Yeah.
Just do it. Let's get this done. I need to go home, that type of thing. And so she used this oil. And the second I breathed it in, it went right into my limbic system. And because I was so at maximum adrenal fatigue and collapse, it went into my limbic system and caused my body to just experience the first calm in my life for a really long time.
Do you remember which one it was?
It was a combination of a custom blend.
Yeah.
But I know it had cypress, some peppermint. It had some just really grounding earth kind of oils in it.
Were you shocked?
I was shocked. I was completely shocked.
That's wild. You've been feeling awful for 5 years and you just take a smell of these oils and it's almost jolted your system a little bit.
Yep, absolutely. Completely floored. So I said, whatever that is, I need to find it. And so I began researching essential oils. I discovered that if you use clove is a really high antioxidant, and lemongrass has a high anti-inflammatory response component to it. And then frankincense was the frankincense of all oils, right? It was the epitome of all oils. And so I began putting these on my thyroid every single day. And I also at that time got certified as a Reiki healer.
Beautiful. I love Reiki.
And so I began holding my throat and just saying, heal and, sending it love and everything. So somebody in this particular company said, we have supplements that have essential oils in them. And I was like, nope, no way, absolutely not. I'm not taking any more supplements. Forget about it. Mm-hmm. And they said, well, the essential oils are in them and you seem to be doing well with the essential oils. You sure you don't want to try them? And I was like, I seriously fought against it. And I said, all right, okay, I'm going to do this. So I tried them. I tried them for a while. And about 3 months later, this tumor formed on my throat about the size.
A tumor formed?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
The tumor formed on my throat about the size of a golf ball.
Wow.
And I never felt threatened by this. For some reason, and this goes back to my intuition, it felt as if the toxins were being drawn out of my body for a reason. So again, I went in every time I took a shower in the morning, I would hold my throat, especially that little tumor, a little golf ball is what I called it. And I was like, I don't know why you're here, why you showed up, but it's going to be the most amazing thing ever. And thank you. And I just sent it so much love. And I told it, when we're ready, I'm just going to swallow you and poop you out and call it a day.
Yeah.
And so I kept that mindset. I kept that energy and I kept using the essential oils and I started to feel better. I really started to feel like I was about 65% better. And then somebody reached out and said, about hemp oil, right? And I was like, I've been researching, cannabinoid diols. I haven't tried it yet because I'm not looking for a THC. And so I don't want the psychoactive effect. Trust me, I'm glad to have my brain back,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, yeah, let's try it. So I tried this particular brand. I loved it because it was nano enhanced, but then it went further. It had a liposomal delivery. So that's like taking a bowling ball, a large molecule and crushing it down to a grain of sand and then getting it into your body. Like the uptake was instant for me. And within about 3 days of taking this, I was just like, whew, clarity, focus, energy, had the best sleep of my life. And I liked it so much. I was like, how do I become a part of this company? I was like, this rocks.
Yeah.
Because for the first time in all those years, I got my life back.
That you probably never thought you were going to get back ever again.
No. Oh my God. No, I thought, this was crazy. And then when I started researching where it all came from was the absorbency, right? We wanted to go back to why were these working where the other supplements were working? And that keyword was absorption. So why was it so important to get that absorption into the gut? So the gut, from what I discovered, was grand central, right? The gut holds the key to all wellness.
Yeah. I think they say like 90% of our immune system's in the gut.
Yes.
Maybe even more.
Right? And so through this discovery, I was like, okay, what if I not necessarily stop using the essential oils on my throat, but what if I start putting the hemp oil and the essential oils on my gut? Let's see how that absorption works. And oh my gosh, even more so. I'm taking Zumba classes again, and like all of these things started to come back into my life where I didn't have the energy before. And so through the gut, being a massage therapist, right, Kundalini yoga instructor, I developed a protocol for the gut on how to massage the gut, because how many times have you gotten a massage? Hundreds.
Plenty of times.
Right?
Love them.
How many times have they touched your gut?
Never.
Yeah. Right. So I developed a protocol. It's called the Essential Gut Technique. And it is specifically for body workers, health givers, anyone who has you can do it on yourself. But it's a protocol that you use to help stimulate that colon flow, right? To really move what's stuck energetically and also physically.
Right.
And this protocol I have helped people remove parasite nests the size of cantaloupes.
Wow.
That were lodged in their ascending colon. Their skin has cleared up from, psoriasis and rashes and stuff like that. And, I'm not saying this is the cure-all. There's no cure-all. There's no one-size-fits-all for any body.
Absolutely.
But these are definitely tools that I wish I would have had years ago. And I'm in a lot of groups, like on a lot of Facebook groups. And I'm seeing that doctors are super resistant to even having tests done.
Yeah.
I don't know if you found that, but a lot of doctors are saying, if you go and request your antibodies test, your TPOs, they'll say, you don't need to have that, or I'm not doing that.
Right.
So I'm super passionate about finding doctors like you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That really want to work together as a team, as a unit, to set ego aside. Like this is not about you not knowing how to read a TPO test.
Absolutely. And there are definitely some just your primary care physicians that are like that. Not all of them, but there are definitely good doctors in all those fields. You just have to look a little harder because some are definitely open to the natural side. Others don't even want to hear about it.
I think functional medical doctors seem to be the most
They're great. Yeah.
So functional medical doctors, in fact, one wrote a foreword for my book. He is totally into being your partner in wellness and finding out, like a detective, like what's going on. So the tests that you really need to take are saliva, blood, hair, urine, and stool. You really want to find out what's going on in your microbiome so that you can find out, because if that's where the key to wellness is, that's where we need to start.
Absolutely. Now, Maria, I have a question for you. Is your protocol mainly for autoimmune disorders? What if it's just like an IBS or something like that where it's not labeled as autoimmune? It sounds like you could definitely help that too.
Anyone and everyone who has a gut can benefit from the essential gut technique because it helps clear out all of the toxins. It helps, whatever detox process you're doing or going through. I have my favorites, obviously, but the detox process in itself can be one emotionally detoxing, right? You can store things in your body.
Yeah.
Cells in your, we call that quantum technology, right? It's when we're holding things in ourselves. So we have that stuck in our gut. We have that stuck in our energy, and we want to move it out. And
Right.
so this protocol is anyone can get certified. You don't have to, there's no prerequisite for that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone can do it and anyone can perform it. So it's non-invasive.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, it actually feels like a nice belly rub, but there's more to it than that.
So you combine the essential oils topically, the hemp oil. Are the supplements part of that as well?
No, the supplements are not.
Okay. So your protocol is the essential oils and the hemp oil together?
Yes, it's called, it's actually a formulation that I did. It's called Belly Awakening.
Oh, okay. So you have that specific. Oh, that's perfect.
Specific.
You incorporated it all. Gotcha.
I did. I wanted to make it super easy because, like I said, when you have brain fog and you have vertigo, you cannot sit there and search all these different places.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Everything is in here in terms of where to find everything, in terms of, the book gives you websites, where to find these tools and how to order. Because God knows, I wish I would have had that years and years and years ago.
Absolutely. When did you slowly start to reintroduce all these amazing things back into your life?
Such as?
So you said you were able to do Zumba again, from being at your rock bottom to taking these supplements. What was the process like when you were able to enjoy things again? What was the time frame? Was it, oh my God, right away? Or was it just kind of like a up and down process until you finally got there?
Yeah, it was more of an up and down process. I mean, I initially felt energy, right? So I got my energy back. However, I had to build my blood back
Absolutely.
up. And that again, that's why it's not a one size fits all.
Absolutely.
Doctors would always say, go walk, Maria. You need to walk every day.
Yeah.
I can barely walk up one step without trying to gasp air.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So I would never say that to anyone. It's not a one size fits all. Everybody needs to walk for 15 minutes a day.
Yeah. The reason I asked you was because true healing definitely does take time. So, you have the people out there that will take that product, use it once and be like, oh, didn't feel anything. It must not work. It's you got to really stick with something and to know if it's working or not. You got to give everything a shot because sometimes it doesn't work right away. Some of my best patients didn't really feel anything for 2 months down the road.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I have found the more toxic a person is in terms of their environments, do they use sprays and cleansers and stuff like that? Are they constantly breathing in toxins? Are they exposed to toxins, environmental toxins, right? I have found that those people have a harder time getting the supplements into their system.
Yeah.
I feel like it's almost like a barrier. The body is saying, look, no. We're so maxed out in our toxins that we're not taking anything more. And so I have found that when the more toxic a person is, the more we have to start out with just the basics. Are you drinking enough water every day?
Right.
Let's change just your food right now.
Yeah, you might not have to reinvent the wheel right away. Just, figure out the basics first.
Yes. I'm not a huge advocate for pushing products on people. I'd like to start out with what's the minimum invasive thing that we can do just to start that process? Because most people are dehydrated, right?
Yeah.
So you want to hydrate your body.
And
if it comes down to that, then week number 2, we go, okay, did that work? Now, how are you feeling? So it is a process. However, the response with me and the essential oils was instant.
Yeah.
The response
absolutely.
with me and the hemp oil was 3 days.
Yeah. You felt the shift, definitely.
I felt the shift. Absolutely.
And so at what point were you like, I need to write a book about this and share this message with the world? Because a lot of people, they get healed and they're like, all right, I'm good now. Let's continue living life. What made you kind of just be like, all right, I have to share this with the world?
Well, my parents are the most giving people I can ever imagine. And they have always taught me to just be open and giving and sharing. And so I would say one of the reasons was because I wanted to share this information. I kept seeing so many of my friends, colleagues, and even strangers suffering. And I couldn't, with a clear conscience, let that happen. I always want to come from a space of how can I help? How can I be of service? And so that's just how I grew up. So with that in mind, that's imprinted in my DNA, it basically used my intuition and downloaded, just completely just shared my story without any filters and didn't worry about punctuation or grammar or anything like that. I just wrote. And I feel that it was kind of a co-creation with universe. It was like this book had its own energy from the very, very beginning. And she wanted to be released at a certain date. She wanted to have certain components in it that held it back from being released earlier. I mean, she just was the boss.
Yeah.
And I was the facilitator of what this book wanted. And I feel that that's one of the reasons why it went to number 1 on its first day.
Amazing.
Because it has a momentum. It has an energy that really wants to help people.
That's beautiful. And so, Maria, can people, aside from writing the book and everything, people with autoimmune diseases, do you coach people through that? Can people contact you saying they have this going on and you take them on as clients?
Yes, absolutely. So I'm a health and wellness mentor. So I'm not a doctor, but I mentor clients and we work through the process together. And I also have functional medical doctors and nutritionists and chiropractors like you that I can recommend that people go see to get their testing.
Beautiful.
You can go to my website and get a free 15-minute consultation. I also have a gut course on the Ascension Academy online. It's called the Total Gut Mastery. And it's a 6-week online course that tells you about your gut, how to cleanse it safely, the hemp oil. It explains the endocannabinoid system. I mean, it's fully loaded with tons of information. So I'm trying to give you as many tools as I possibly can.
Beautiful. Well, you're doing a great job. And Maria, what is one piece of advice that you've taken with you over the years that's really resonated with you that you would like to share with the audience?
So my one piece of advice is going to be listen to your gut. Really trust your gut. And in fact, I have a free gift for everyone listening. If you go to my website, mariaaparis.com or essentialgut.com, you can download my free ebook. It's called Trust Your Gut. And it's all about your intuition, your knowing, your being able to listen to what your body's trying to communicate to you.
Beautiful. Well, Maria, thank you so much. It sounds like the book is really taken off. I'm going to get a copy myself. I can't wait to read it. And I would love to have you back on anytime just to see how everything's going and just give us an updated version if you find out anything new.
I would be honored. Thank you so much for having me today.
You're welcome. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, everyone, for listening. If you enjoy the podcast, subscribe, give us 5 stars, and leave a review. It really helps boost the podcast and spread the good word. My chiropractic practice is located in West Orange, New Jersey at Montclair Upper Cervical Chiropractic. You can also find us on Facebook at Montclair Upper Cervical Chiropractic. All of my information is on my website at drkevinpecca.com, drkevinpecca.com. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel at Dr. Kevin Pecca for podcast episodes, patient testimonials, and educational videos. I have daily affirmations and inspirational quotes on Instagram at Easel Affirmations, EASEL Affirmations. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me at drkevinpecca@gmail.com, drkevinpecca@gmail.com. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day. Cheers.